All right, we are live. Hello, my friends. Very, very excited to do our very first coffee and camera. I am here with Denise from Appleseed. I'm with Jane Sirkin and Johna as well from 3Js, not 3 Nails. I had a weird autocorrect on that. I don't even know.
That's great.
That could have been me, or it could have been the internet. I have no idea. So hello, everybody out there. I can see everybody's watching us. I can see the comments. This is so awesome. We're going to have a lot of fun today. So I'm going to dive right in. I want you guys to tell me. I'm going to start with you, Denise. Tell me something good that is happening in your life or your business right now.
Well, right now I'm working on rolling out live education in my education group, so that people can ask questions and watch everything in real time and see how real sessions work, and ask questions and, just get better angles and very interactive, but online. So that's what I'm working on.
Love it. Okay. Johna, how about you?
Oh, well, I just got back from a small break, but back into it. And yeah, just I have plans to do some videos this year for for my own stuff, like rapping and posing and things like that. So I'm excited to get into that. Always looking to see what else is out there, and yeah, it's just kind of wing it sometimes. So haven't quite put my 2026 goals out there yet. It's still trying to survive my 25. So, but yeah, hey, listen, all good.
Well, I'm working on a retreat, actually. We're having a retreat here in May, and I'm very excited about it. It's going to be like 20 different workshops and 5 lectures and 2 days with all kind of photographers, and I'm very excited about that.
That's awesome. Good for you. That's great.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to say hello to everybody out there. I can see your comments that are coming in from YouTube, which is fantastic. So if you do have a question while we are live on here, please just throw it in the comments and I will see if we can get to it on the call. I see we've got Holly out there. We've got Christy, Katie, Samantha. Hello and welcome. Okay, so I'm going to dive into some questions that actually came in. And this is the first one. It is, I need help with a newborn session situation. Mom's main request was sibling photos, newborn and siblings together, and she was really clear that this was the shot she cared the most about. The problem is the siblings were toddlers and they wanted nothing to do with it. One wouldn't sit, one was melting down, neither of them wanted to be close to the baby. Mom was getting more and more stressed, and I got more stressed because she said, this is the whole reason we did this. I stayed focused on safety and tried to keep it calm, but we only got a couple quick frames before it fell apart. Now she's followed up upset, saying she didn't get what she wanted and asking if we can do the sibling portion of the session. How would you handle this? What would you say back? The session with the baby was also really hard. It was super unsettled too, but I did get some good stuff at the end of like 3.5 hours. I'm just not sure what to do. So Denise, we're going to go to you.
Okay, so this has happened many a time out of, and I know everybody that does newborns here can agree. But what I found is setting the expectation ahead of time, because moms, and I'm not joking you, and I know I've actually learned, from Lisa in the Milky Way, she'd always talk about, you got to be Zen, and and you have to be Zen because the energy passes on to the baby. So this actually applies same with the mom. If the mom comes in, she's high anxiety, she shows up with her Pinterest board. You already know if someone does that, the session's going to be no less than 7 hours. And it's insane. And the baby is cluster feeding and the mom is hovering and the kids are definitely feral because mom is anxious because mom had this list of demands, non-negotiables. And she's expecting these little toddlers to listen. They're 2 years old probably. They can't be bribed at 2. And the middle child is always, this is their first time as a big sibling. So it's unhinged. So I think it's important to set the standard prior, saying our sessions are baby and toddler led, meaning we do what they want. They're the boss. And that way, and say, I will do everything in my power to achieve what you're hoping for. But it's important to have realistic expectations. And I have that in my contract. And this is also part of why I don't really have a really big extensive prep guide, because then if I go, I'm not putting all these expectations on you to perform, you can't do that to the baby and then expect me to pull this out of my, out of my hat. And also there's options too. Like I have had on many occasions where I'm like, hey, let's bring them back. Let's bring the kids back. I've had to do that a couple times. And even the second time I've had them come back, I still had to make a composite or composite, depending on how you say it. Canada composite, right? Maybe, I don't know. That's what I say. And so, I think, sometimes you have to combine like 11 photos to get that perfect one as well. But honestly, it's setting the expectations for the mom or the parents ahead of time so that it covers you, so that you're not expected to make these magical tricks happen.
Yeah, totally agree.
But sorry to hear that. That's really sweaty and painful and very stressful.
I think we've all probably been in that situation, honestly. Just
yes.
with newborns and siblings. And with my sessions, I typically will, I set the expectation too, like ahead of time. And I tell them my goal is to absolutely get your siblings together, like the siblings together and the family shots. However, it is beyond my control sometimes. I will do my very best, but I cannot guarantee that I'm going to get it. And just by having that, like I will have them come back, and I usually win. Like it's rare that I don't get the shot with the kids when they come back, but it does take time sometimes. Like you have wild cards. Johna, anything to add?
Sorry.
I mean, Denise said it. It's true. And most toddlers, especially as she put it, are feral. Yeah. So, I go in, it's also in my contracts that no pose is guaranteed, doesn't matter, but especially sibling posing is not guaranteed. But it is a hard situation to be in because we've all been there. It's not like, we're sitting here with magic powers and we're all getting through. I tell my moms, keep your expectations basically below, like, just way, way low. Just whatever we get. Yeah, no, I go, that's what and especially knowing that they're younger. I mean, one younger sibling is hard enough. You throw two or more in there, it's even harder, especially, you have them so close together. But yeah, most of the time, we end up winning in some way or another. And as Denise said, sometimes we have to bring them back. But even then, like if I've exhausted, everything that I'm able to do, or maybe it was on a nap time of that toddler, my schedule doesn't change much. So it's probably going to end up being that same time again with unfortunately the same results. We just have to keep our expectations at reasonable, and also let those parents know as well. I go in letting them know, hey, listen, this is how we're going to start, this is how we're going to do it. Please just know, like, whatever happens, and just keep your expectations really low. Yeah. So I feel bad, but it's true.
Do you do newborns as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Do you have anything to add?
And lately I shoot them at the clients' houses.
Nice. Okay.
So it's more complicated then, because also toddlers feel at home and they feel they want to do whatever they want to do. And they want to show us everything, and it makes it much more complicated, yes. But Denise and Johna said it. I just keep their expectations as low as possible ahead.
I did want to add one trick and tip though, because there are some things that are really important when it comes to working with toddlers. And I'm going to just throw this out there in general, is making everything on their time. So, and I have this thing, it's called like transitional time. And so when the kids come in, I like to feel it out without making too much eye contact. I'm very friendly so they can observe me from safety. I don't stare at them and, unless they run up to me, you know what I mean? Where you're like, are you big sister? And they're like, holy crap, who are you? So I have a bin of sensory toys. You can get them on Amazon for $28. There's 80 of them. I have a bin and I put them out and I say, here's some toys in case anyone wants to play. And then I go away, let them observe me. And when they're ready, like even the other day, I had a little girl, she's 2.5. She's like, no pictures. I'm like, that's okay. We don't have to do what you don't want to do. But in the meantime, here's some toys. And then she didn't want to put the dress on. And I put on sport Frozen music. Now she needs to be a princess. The dress comes on. And I'm like, okay, are we ready for photos? Yep. And about 2 hours in, she was ready. And I stopped the press, got her in her photos. Then she was done. So there is a transition. You have to transition with these little ones, and you have to make everything their idea.
Yeah.
And so when the mom is all like, you need to do this, and now the kid's crying, it's not going to work. So we just need to have a very calm environment that is transitional, if that makes sense. So that's just a little trick.
I love thriving. Like I keep little baby marshmallows, little white marshmallows.
I have gummies.
Rice Krispie squares. And the reason for that is because they're white.
It's like clean.
And I'm not going to get chocolate everywhere. Like as soon as I see someone like my Smarties, I'm like, no, because
Oreos.
Chocolate. Oh my God, shot chocolate out of kids' teeth. Like, you know what it looks like. This is not good. This is not my favorite.
I also want to add something that I do try to fit my schedule around the toddlers, because I know that they have their nap times. And if it's in the morning, it's usually much better than closer to the afternoon, because then they're getting tired. And when a toddler is tired, there's nothing you can do. No marshmallows can help you there. So I do try to be as flexible as possible when it comes to toddlers.
Or train yourself and do a back-to-back mini sessions of toddlers all day long.
I just say let's not do toddlers. Let's just not include them.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Somehow you make it through.
Just kidding.
I have another question. This one's from Holly. It's gaining clients or even models when you've not worked with one single newborn. I already read through the guides on how, but nothing's working. So let's start with Johna on that.
What was that question? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's about gaining clients or even models when you've not worked with one single newborn. Oh, we can't hear you. Oh, I can't hear you. No. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, Lisa. I can't hear Johna.
Jane, can you chat?
No, I can't hear her.
I can hear Jane. Okay.
Weird. No. Nope. Oh, no.
But we can see.
Try disconnecting your.
Do an interpretive dance to tell us the answer.
I'm wondering, are you muted? No.
Oh, it's. I see it's muted right now.
I just muted her, and now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I can't unmute because Oh, it says you're muted. Try unmuting you. Wow, it says like kick from studio or ban from studio. We're like not going that far.
That's expressive.
Guys, just difficulties such as life. Come out and come back in. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to continue with, we're both Jane. I'm going to get you to answer this question while we're having some trouble with Johna's mic right now. So we're going to get you to gaining clients when you have no experience.
Oh, that's a tricky one. Well, usually I tell my students to, well, I have a kind of a system here that sometimes my students do the first sessions with me. I mean, I'm watching them while they're doing the session, and I'm there to try and help as much as I can during the session. But before that, I train my student a couple of times, so she can gain some confidence and also some experience before she starts actually taking real babies. But if it's someone that I don't know, I recommend her to learn first safety, and of course to take a few master classes to learn. And then when she has to start working with babies, to advertise that she's looking to expand her experience and learn, and that it is a learning experience. that she has some knowledge about the safety, of course, and she's going to do everything in order to keep the baby as safe as possible and gain photos. And the advertisement is usually using Facebook or Instagram groups, using babies from workshops, or using a posing doll. Like I had a student that did her own sets, and she just posted the different sets, how she prepares them, and all the colors combinations and all the props. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So all the sets were already ready for the baby, but there wasn't an actual baby yet. So that's what she did.
Okay, good idea, actually. When I was first getting started, I had a 6-month-old. So it was really easy for me to go into like my mommy groups and meet people. So I would suggest like finding some local groups, maybe finding some people locally that may have had new babies and starting to ask them if they would be interested in coming while you learn and pose just for some free photos, and just kind of get out in your community, go talk to people, take cards, and even like go in. I sometimes hand out cards in like the shopping center, like in grocery stores. Just be brave, right?
I agree with the mommy groups, because there's always a group to the local area that you're in. And you just tell them, hey, I am experienced in photography, but I'm expanding into newborn photography. I'm looking for a baby model to practice my safe posing. I've done a lot of courses, and I'm just looking to expand my portfolio. People will line up. And honestly, because even for me too, I'm new to my area, even though I'm not new to photography. And that's where I've been finding a lot of my babies. Even they end up booking me in the end, or doing a model call. So
yeah, 100%. And one thing I will actually note, especially when you're starting out and you're new, with model calls, a lot of the times these are the freebie clients. And when you are growing your portfolio and when you're growing your business, these clients will not always stay with you. And that's okay, because your pricing, you're going to outgrow them. And that is sort of like the way of the things go. And so what you'll find is when you have another new photographer that starts out, you will start to see that family or like in other photographers' work because they are answering the model calls. And it can feel like a gut punch or like a shot to the heart, because you're like, these are my clients, these are my people. And the truth of it is they are the people that helped you build. They're not the people that will stay. And that's okay. Some people will stay, some will go. But I think just knowing that when you're heading into it, I wish I had known that, because that would have saved me so much heartache and sleepless nights, just wondering, did I do something wrong? And the fact is, right? It's just sort of the evolution of a client to a portfolio client. So Johna, I'm going to get you to say something to see if we got you back.
I think I fixed it.
Hallelujah!
I don't know. What happened.
Hallelujah!
That technology is not my forte. I think my other earpods muted, but I couldn't unmute them.
Oh,
So I switched over, and then I had to switch something. I don't know.
oh, we're good.
But you guys had all great points. I heard some of it.
Okay.
All great points.
I love it. Okay, I'm going to grab another question. Let me see.
I just wanted to add something, that when you do a freebie session, it's very important to also set your expectations with your clients. Because that could be very tricky as well, because you have to let your client know exactly what they're going to get and what to expect.
Yes.
And a contract.
Yeah.
And a contract.
All releases.
You don't have a contract, get a contract.
Signed. Yeah.
And do a proofing gallery and upsell.
Yeah. And insurance.
Also,
We can do that.
We also have a copy of our Model Calls Made Easy. It's a free resource that we have from the Milky Way. We should have sent it to you, and I think it's in the free resources, and I think it's actually in the member site too. So that's one thing. We've got to hold, like, there's scripts in there, how to do paid ones, how to do free ones. It's all right in there for you. Okay, so next question. Okay, I know this isn't posing related, but what marketing has helped you when business is slow? Newborn specifically. I've been in business for 6 years, and this last year has been my slowest since 2021. Well, I'm not going to lie, it is my slowest too. I have had far less inquiries in the past, I would say 2 years, than I ever have, ever. But the thing is, I am also not marketing. I'm not I'm not getting out there. So it's not that it's someone else's fault. It's my fault right now because I am not doing anything about it. And that's okay because my priority right now is Milky Way. But so I'm not one to answer that question for you because I'm kind of in the same boat right now. So Denise, I'm going to take that to you because I know that you're back in building mode.
Yeah. So, and we're talking about marketing because things are kind of slow. Okay. What I've noticed is, remember back when newborn photography was kind of not a newer thing, but let's say 5-6 years ago. I don't know if anyone remembers this, but we were constantly as photographers sharing the importance of newborn photography, the importance of these memories, the comparison to people buying an iPhone or getting their nails done and their eyelashes done. If people are kind of making comments about the price and the value, I noticed that we all were constantly sharing about the value of what we do. And I don't notice anybody's doing that anymore because everyone's in this mindset because all around us, everyone's quitting or stopping and we're all freaking out. So, the algorithm and this and that, I think it's important to share on your personal Facebook and your business Facebook, the value and the fact that you are creating history, you're creating heirloom art. This is timeless. This is fine art. Like we need to really show the value of what we do and why it's important to have it. And that no amount of AI, no amount of iPhone photos can replace this timeless art. And you need to touch on their heart, like on your followers and whatever you want to touch on that to make them realize the value in you and what you're providing. And, and I know that there's a thing right now where everyone's kind of fearful because so many photographers are quitting, but you have to consider that over the pandemic, we ended up seeing the hugest surge, our group grew from 3,000 to 40,000 in 1 year. Okay. Yeah. So what goes up? Okay. How many of them are going to stay? After 5 years, you're going to see a drop off and that's going to cause chaos and fear to all of us. And it's going to make us kind of pull back. I think it's important. And I actually almost want to challenge everybody watching to go and share on their Facebooks, their personal, their Instagram, and why our work is valuable and why they need it, and see what happens if we as a collective, so that all the people watching our pages, see this constantly. It creates that thing in the back of their head. They're like, this is valuable. This is important. Because I don't see us doing that anymore. I remember every other day there's a post like this, and now I don't see it. So I think you should start there.
Totally. Jane, anything to add?
I think Denise said it already. I have nothing to add to that. I agree totally. Just for me, Instagram is working much better than Facebook right now. But yeah, it's up and downs here. So
Yep. Yeah.
Also, I need to practice what I preach. I need to share that post myself.
I love it. Well, it's funny because I actually had made a post on my milk and honey, and it's just been hard for me to share lately. I've been really struggling with even what to put because it feels different than it used to. Like I don't know if you guys have felt that.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know why. It just feels like very performative maybe, and I don't know, it's almost like proving how busy we are, and it just feels like this competition where it never felt like that before. It felt like we're all just there to share and we're so excited about what we're doing and we're you know what I mean, but there's something that has changed and I don't know why. But I think that that's so important to have maybe an email list, starting your email list, so it's not just social media. You have an opt-in on your website for something valuable. It could be a print planning guide or wall art designs or 10 ways to soothe your baby. Something that is a carrot for them to grab and get on your email list. And then you're emailing them once a month, could be every 6 months. I'm really bad about my personal one. But I do know that with Milky Way, when I stay in touch with you, you come and see me, we hang out and you come to retreats, right? So it's stay in touch with your people, find ways to be in front of them. That also is not just social media. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm going to do another question here. Let me see. Okay. The question was, what is your advice on how to expand outside of Facebook and how to get more clients coming through your website? An opt-in and an email list. Okay. All right. I have some over here. Okay, here's a good one. I'm feeling uninspired and honestly burned out, like I'm forcing everything. I'll pick up my camera and my brain just goes blank. Editing feels gross and heavy. Posting feels heavy. Even answering inquiries feels heavy. I keep seeing other photographers putting out their amazing work, and I start questioning if I'm even good at this. On top of that, I'm not getting clients. My bookings are slow. My inquiries have dropped, and it's starting to mess with my confidence. I'm trying to post consistently, but it feels like I'm shouting into the void. I'm worried I've lost my spark, and I'm worried I'm falling behind financially. How do you handle seasons like this without spiraling? What would you focus on first, creativity or marketing? And what are a few realistic things I can do this week to get momentum back without trying to overhaul my entire life? That's a really good question.
There's a lot in there.
Okay, John, we're going to go to you.
That was a big heavy question. That was a big heavy everything. All right.
Creative stuck.
Well, yeah, we all get into creative ruts, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's definitely hard when you kind of, it's just the same thing day in and day out. Which kind of what it sounds like. I think, for me, it's finding some sort of different creative outlet, maybe taking a slight break, or from the sound of it, like I almost even is like, if you truly love what you're doing, let's try to figure out, how to make you love it again. 'Cause it seems that there's something, it shouldn't feel heavy you shouldn't feel that. You should love what you want to, like I love doing what I do. So I did something I hated for, 20 plus years. So this is what I love. Um, it's not for everybody. If you do truly love it and maybe you're just in a rut or anything like that, like maybe it's time to, do more, you know, like I said, creatively, like going outside the box, or maybe going to a different type of workshop, still related to what you do, but maybe somebody different that you've been eyeing for a while, just to get things going. And even just doing something outside of newborn photography, like I'll go and do, like outdoor photography, things like that, which will help me kind of see things a little differently, see colors differently, things like that. Maybe you look into something that's, like even color related, anything, do pick up a hobby that could somehow tie in. It's a lot, and especially when we're trying to keep up with the next person. And I know for me, I'm sitting in a super saturated market right now. So it's always just trying to, I'm me, and I I do feel sometimes the weight of that, because you kind of have to be consistent. And it's some people have asked me, well, does it get boring? Well, for me, no, because like I'm always out there doing things that are like so like I love to go antiquing. I love to find new things. I love to in the roundabout of the art. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, but I love what I do. Do I get frustrated? 100%. I've never gotten to the point of being burnt out though. So, and if I did, I'd probably have to take maybe a step back, I think, and just see what's making me burnt out. Do I love my work? What can I do to help me love my work again? Things like that.
Yeah. I
So,
went through some major burnout actually, to the point where it was affecting my health. It was just after the pandemic. And when we had to start going back and wearing masks in sessions,
yeah.
I just was like, I don't want to do this, because part of the way I connect with people, I'm so expressive. Like all these lines on my face, I have earned them because I smile and I have tons of expressions. And that is part of the reason I get so many expressions back from my clients. And so I just was like, just destroyed actually at that time. My health was really suffering. I had a thyroid disorder that I was undiagnosed about. So I really just had to take a step back from my photography and just focus on Milky Way at the time. But I've been there with burnout, and especially creative burnout. I like doing too much without having enough rest and enough joy and peace and creativity for yourself, is just the recipe for burnout. So I think my advice would be, yeah, maybe it's time to take a break. I mean, the fact that you're in the retreat right now, for me, this is really why retreats came to be, is because I was feeling creatively uninspired. And then I made a list. I'm like, who would I love to learn from? And then I started reaching out. And then we've done like 30 retreats now, but it's like, honestly, learning something new is the quickest way to get out of that rut. But also being so patient with yourself and giving yourself the grace. There's going to be times in your life where you're going to be able to do a lot. And if you have kids, you're going to have different seasons when you're really involved with them, and other ones where you're like taking a step back. The teenage years, I'm surprised that I need to be as hands-on as I am with my son. I find that I'm more hands-on now than I was when he was little. So just embrace the season you're in. Creativity ruts don't last forever, and just give yourself some grace while you're going through it. Jane, would you like to add anything?
Well, when I feel a little low, so I usually do like some fun project for myself.
Yeah.
That always has to do with photography, but something I want to do, but my clients won't do it with me. Like, for example, I shot a woman with a snake. That was like a dream of mine, like a fantasy I had, like Adam and Eve, So I wanted to shoot her with a huge snake on her shoulders, and I did it. And kids with animals or stuff, like sometimes I just want to do for only just me. And like go to a location where I never go, somewhere far, like Holland, to shoot the tulips or something like that. So for me, that's what I do. And I try to do it every couple of months, so I'm not too burned out, really, to remind me that I do it for myself, that I love shooting, which I really do.
Okay.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
I'm going to grab some. There was actually a question for Johna, and it is, I've noticed that you often use a kind of similar set of baskets and favor overhead angles in many of your sessions, which I really love. I'm curious, do you find that working with a consistent setup helps you stay confident and focus creatively, or do you ever feel pressure to vary poses more for portfolio diversity?
Yeah. So I think so I post what I want people to see, right? So I think that's super important too. Like, I'm not going to go out there. So I only do strictly newborn. So I'm not good, but I do offer like first birthday sessions for my newborn clients. I have a point here. So, but I'm not going to go post those because I don't want people coming to me for first birthday sessions. I want people coming to me for newborn sessions. Okay. Then I also want people to see what I want them to see. So a lot of times people think like, oh, maybe, it's like the diversity of my portfolio. My portfolio is pretty diverse. I do actually do a lot of things. I just show you what I want to show you. So, but I do have a workflow. I am a creature of habit. I have routine. So yes, my workflow is the same, and it makes me feel in control. Jane had mentioned how she goes to people's houses. Like, I can't do that. I've done it. I've realized that it's an out of control area, and I don't like that. I need to be in control. My workflow helps me to feel confident. Yeah. So using I also have core things. Like, I like to use the same things because I know how they work. I know what I can do with them, and it's just part of my style per se. I don't find that it, what's it called? I'm trying to think. Like, it doesn't make me feel like my portfolio isn't diverse. Does that make sense? Like, I never feel like I have to go do other things. I feel like I'm kind of past that. If I want it, usually if I try to do other things, it's because, again, like going back to creativity and, maybe going out of the box. For a long time, I never did like pajamas. I never did pajama posing ever. I actually was like, I'm never going to do that. And then, right? So I'm never going to do that. But like, so random. But then, like, it's so cute. Like, why wouldn't I? I tried it one time and I'm like, this is great. And I added it to my flow. I don't usually do like chin on hands and a prop, but every once in a while I'll be like, you know what? This baby's actually really cooperative. Let me try it. But for the most part, I stick to my workflow because I know that's what my clients are coming to me for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it does build confidence when you have a workflow, and it builds confidence when you know what you're going to do and how you're going to pivot if you need to. So I'm not sure if I'm answering these questions, but I think that's
I think you are. And I think, honestly, it's pretty normal to have an artistic identity crisis too.
Mhm.
I remember when like the 35 millimeter like family sessions started coming out, and I've been a 200 135 kind of
Mhm.
photographer since like day one. I just have loved that look, and I really started questioning my editing and my work, and I'm like, oh, I'm old, like my style isn't cool. But then I was like, you know what, this is my style, I like it. So the people that like my style are going to come find me, and they do. So
That's it. You know how hard it is to that's one of the biggest things that I get asked. Like, how do you that's one of the biggest things I teach is that you need to find your style. You need to find your creative voice in your work. So when you find it and you love it, I feel like, yeah, you can kind of maneuver a little bit around it, but so many people have such a hard time finding their style and their voice in their work. So,
yeah,
I kind of just keep to my
yeah,
keep my thing. And yes, I do. Like I do. I have core, core things that I use because, one, I love them and I found them and I bought them, and you know what, like, I don't have an extensive collection of things. I don't think you need to go out there and keep buying the next newfangled thing.
yeah.
That's me though. That's me personally. So.
No, I agree. Okay, let me grab another question here. Oh, this is nice. Let's see. Oh, that's where I do the critical good. I love that. This is another good one. Is muting local photographers on your Instagram so you don't comparison spiral? Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I completely agree with this. We're human. We're human.
I hear that, and
Like
it takes a long time to get
Yeah.
you to, and it happens to the best of us too. I mean, I personally do follow a lot of local people, and I'm actually
Mhm.
friendly with a lot of local people, and I also do mentor local people, so it doesn't bother me. But yes, you can. There's a few where I'm like, oh, look what they're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, they got asked to go to that retreat. How come I? Like, we listen. We're there.
I feel like if it's impacting you negatively, if it makes you feel a feeling, then yes, remove it. If you're not, but I also look at it like a lot of us in this industry across board have some kind of ADHD, some kind of thing. I'm not kidding you, and it's real. And with that, we're all very creative, but we also
Mhm.
take rejection harder than everyone else. And
Mhm.
so if we're seeing other people's things and then you compare it to yours, you think now that you suck because they did it better than you. In reality, you belong here. Your work is valuable. And just because you found something you could have done better or you found somebody else that did something better doesn't mean that what you're offering today isn't valuable and beautiful. And that's something important because that's what actually takes us all down, is that self, where we're telling ourselves that I suck because I should have put the fingers like this. And I learned something new. I'm evolving. You're going to constantly evolve as an artist. And this is part of the process. And that never goes away, by the way, because I've been doing this for like 12 years and I still go, the finger, or I should have done this better. I should have done this angle better. So I don't tell myself like, oh, that's awful. I go, no, that's beautiful, but I'm growing, evolving constantly. And you should want to evolve constantly as a creative. So just want to toss that out there.
Reminding yourself who you're shooting for. Like, who are you shooting?
Yes.
You're shooting for
Mom and dad.
You're shooting
Yes.
for your clients, and they're not always. They don't
Absolutely.
care that the fingers are a little bit like this or like this.
They don't.
They don't care. It's their baby. Okay, so you're
Yeah.
doing great. You're doing better than you think, you guys. Honestly.
Yes.
And also, you should
Facts.
kind of just one last point though. I do feel like it could be a source of motivation, because I know it's hard because we fall into that. Oh, look how much better they are, or no, like use it as motivation. Like that's how I did it. I saw things and I wanted to be just as good as so and so. How do I get there? And even locally, like there was a couple people where I was like, oh wow, they're really good. I want to be as good as them. And I think just you kind of twisting it a little bit and making it motivation to kind of light that fire to get you going, because if we just sit back and just go, oh, everyone else is better than me, like, okay, like there's gonna be someone kind of better. Like, it's just like, it's like NFL football. There's always going to be someone better. Like, but go out there and be the best you can be. But if we don't do anything about it, or if we don't help ourselves grow and we don't learn, we'll never get over that hump. So using it as motivation, I feel like, is definitely something too.
Oh yeah, and enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Enjoy the ride, because if you're going, I'll be happy when, no, you
When,
won't,
yeah.
because then you'll get there and go,
Yeah, there's always something else.
because you're tying your joy to when.
Yeah.
And I go, enjoy
Yeah.
the ride, enjoy today. And when you're working with these babies, value the fact that you get to work with this brand new human. This is such a special gift. And just think about the parents. I have a Walmart photo of my daughter that I got for $7 because I could not afford anything else. And to this day, that claw-handed Gerber Daisy gross photo is my number one favorite photo to this day. So even if you're brand new and you're like, oh my God, that's haunting. No, it's not. The mom loves it for life. Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
and go back at your early work. Go back and look at it and see how far you've come.
oh gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, one day. I want to do this one day is we're all going to pick like 4 or 5 of our very, very first sessions, and we're going to bring them up and critique them. Like, I want to do that.
I think I sent you some. I think you
did. I know that. You gave me the idea. That's why I was like, oh, this is really fun, actually.
Bad.
Okay, I'm going to move on to another question because we have tangented so hard. Although it was kind of on track, so whatever. Here's a good one. How do you manage a client who, even though you've asked them about props, etc. prior, they still turn up with Pinterest images or something you don't do? Do you do it, or do you just say no and move on? All right, let's start with Jane. I'm going to go with you.
Well, I'm different from Johna in the way that, I do have ADHD. Probably that's why I get bored really easily. So I change my workflow all the time. I have new props all the time. I have to mix it up. They're all different in that way. So for me, actually, sometimes if I like it and I feel like it could be an interesting challenge for me, I'll go for it. But if I feel that it's not safe or if it's not interesting for me, then I'd say like, I'm sorry, that's not something I do, and I'll move on.
Love it. Love it. I think I have not gotten a Pinterest idea in so long, but I do get requests for Froggy, and I don't do Froggy. Like,
oh, interesting.
Don't. And that's okay. I explained to them why, and we move on. Some people.
I didn't do Froggy for the first 7 years that I was working. I refused, actually.
Yeah.
Refused. But
then also, though,
like,
if they're bringing random props and stuff, I would say if it looked kind of like odd, if it looked very obvious that we could, if it's a watch, well, yeah, we can throw that into the photo. But if someone's bringing some weird basket or some big crazy thing, I have it in my contract as well that it says I do only work with my props as they've been proven to be safe. And so I've had people bring a mirror. Can you put the baby on the mirror? I'm like, no. Can we do bubble gum ball with a glass thing? I'm like, heck no. Someone's bringing like all this crazy stuff. And I go, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't know that you were going to bring this. I'm not prepared. And I only work with safe props. So if you need to get out of it, just say that it doesn't look safe. If it's something like I had a dad bring in a cowboy hat, I'm like, well, that's easy. You put the baby in it and have the dad holding it and it's completely safe and fine and easy. But if it's something weird, or just kind of crazy out of your mind, you just say no. And it's okay to say no, because when you say no to someone, you're saying yes to yourself as well. You don't have to please everyone. You don't have to have everything. You don't have to do everything. Just like what Johna said, like Johna's saying, I have these specific props in this specific workflow. So do I. I only have maybe 20 props that I only use, and because it helps my brain, it helps me. And just like Johna, I have a very specific workflow. I do everything a certain way, and I get very anxious and feel that feeling of out of control, and I just feel very feral. Again, like I feel like Jane is. I'm like you.
Great.
I think that's amazing that you can just go on the fly like that. I cannot. I can't. Me brain cells cannot. No. But I love it and value
it. Session like a day ahead. When I know it, like I plan it ahead. Like, I ask which colors they like, which poses they like, and I bring all the props, but still I mix it up. I mean, every baby is different for me, so I try to treat it the same. So not the same, so the album is different for each client.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've gotten some weird requests, and I'm pretty sure, Denise, I've shared a lot of them with you. Because like there was the grouse one and like remember, and then I think there was the Grovers and the ET one. It's like I just don't show them. I just like, I do some weird stuff. I
Yes.
just do not
Yes.
show them. They ask me to do it. If it's safe, totally fine.
But
I
don't
just-
put it online.
No, if you have time at the end, that's what I would say. If we have time at the end,
that's a
we
good
can we can try to do it. I don't get Pinterest stuff, but I will get people that will bring like their knitted crochet from Aunt Mary or or not even that, or like they got off of Etsy, like I'm like, all right,
the mermaid outfit. Yeah, the mermaid.
right, that's fine. Like if it's personal, but I will say like, oh well, if I have time at the end, I'll try. But then I explain to them like, oh well, these aren't specifically newborn made. They're always like newborns look crazy and lost in them. Sometimes I just do it, but I don't have to. You'll never see it. They could probably post it, but no one will ever know.
Totally. Sometimes I'm just like, well, you're paying me, so I may as well.
And what
Fine.
Johna said about saying we'll do it at the end is key, because at the end everything's all sweaty and crazy, and usually they're like, we're good, I'm happy with what we got,
And you got all what you needed already, right? Like but it is hard.
Yes.
But it's hard when you're new. It's hard to say no when you're new.
Yeah,
it is. We've all been there. It's hard to say no when you're new, and that's why it's so important to establish yourself and your style and your creative voice. As much as Jane says that she likes but she probably has a style though. If what I mean, like she has a style and she has a way. When you're new, it can be very intimidating. So and it's okay to say no, but just in a or say let me just do my workflow and then we'll try at the end. I can't guarantee it. Nothing's guaranteed because you know what? In the contract. The contract.
Or you just like, think
contract.
of it like as a creative challenge, and like, how can I put my own creative twist on it? Like I remember getting a whole bunch of like the dad was a gamer and he got a whole bunch of Nintendo games and a controller and like the old Nintendo thing, and I just ended up doing hands-on wrist over the controller and they loved it. Like
there's definitely things you can take in pieces. I've had stuff come in where I was like, what is this? And then I use part of it and I'm like, this actually worked. You don't know. Okay.
Love it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna grab another question. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. I can only offer sessions in the week as I have another part-time job. I need my weekends for editing and my own family time. What tips do you have when it comes to sibling shoots at school? I actually haven't offered weekend sessions since 2014 or 15. So they make it work.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Yeah.
It's my business.
I do work, but it's only specific like time on the weekend. But the thing is you only have so many weekends, so you already have someone in there. Sometimes I have to piggyback, like especially like dads that have to go back to work right away. That's a big thing too. I have a lot of the dads here don't get time off, so a lot of times I have to do like baby during the week. And then I would have to piggyback on like the parent portion onto at the end of maybe the one session I have on the weekend. I don't work both days. I will only work the one day if I have to. And that's like if I have to. But siblings, if I had, I would just be like, all right, well, this is what we have to do. Our time is important and we're important.
Yeah, and good for you for setting boundaries. You stick to that at all costs, because spending time with your family and trying to also manage another job, this is very important that you do that. But just like anything, if your child had a dental appointment at a pediatric dental at 1 p.m. on a Tuesday, what are they doing? They're taking the kid out of school. These pictures are very important, and if they value it like they do, they will make it work. And you set your hours, just like a dentist. Is your dentist working on a Saturday at 7? And no, is your doctor working on that on a Sunday? How do you take your kid to a doctor appointment? So you just make it work. And it's one time in, if let's say you have 3 kids, you only have to do this 2 or 3 times in your life.
I don't work after a certain time during the day because I work while my kids are in school. Like there's just now each one's starting to come home now. Like, you know what I mean? And you know, even that's it. Like, no, this is time at work. I can't. Oh, you want to do it? I can't do. Like some people do. They do evening sessions. I can't do that. My kids are home. I have 4 kids.
Yeah. Yes. And it's important that you have boundaries so you can spend time as a mother to your kids.
And the longer that you do this, the more you realize how little time you actually do have left with your children. Which it's like that time is so precious that in my inquiry, I let them know right from that initial inquiry that I do not offer sessions on the weekend. Full stop, period.
I know a lot of people that don't.
Yep.
One of
And
my
that's all.
I
Me
don't.
neither.
Lori, who I used to teach with, she doesn't. They didn't do weekends unless they absolutely had to.
Yep.
So, you know,
Same for 12 years. I've hardly done a weekend because,
yeah,
again, my kids are my priority and my family
yeah,
and me, myself. And I don't do
yeah,
evenings and weekends.
yeah.
11
Football
to
season,
2.
don't come at me.
Your
Yep.
business, you're the boss.
Yeah, all my
Love it.
kids are in things on the weekend. I can't, you know. So,
Okay, let's see. La, 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 la. I'm gonna grab another one. Okay. Ooh, okay.
oh, I can see the comments. Ooh.
How do you shape your social media to reflect the direction you want your work to go? Do you have any advice for those of us who are still building our portfolio and do not have many images yet? Okay. John, I'm going to get you to answer this one.
Me? Okay. So yeah. So oh she. Can you bring that up again? I like seeing the. Thank you. All right,
No.
because I have to see, and this is way better than I can see it on the screen here. Okay. Yeah. So as like I was saying before, like if like I'm specifically newborn, so I'm not gonna now. I also sometimes do maternity, right? But I don't go out there and say, "Oh, look at me," and all these things. There's plenty of us out there that do multiple things, right? You guys and families and this, but I personally want to show newborn, right? And I want to show my work and what I want people to see. You only post what you want people to see. So if you're a strictly white on all white, photographer, like only shoot on white or neutrals, like put it out there. I only want to do neutrals, put it out there. If you don't have portfolio, let's do model calls. Even like if you're slow, like when you're slow and you need to keep your social media going, do model calls. There's nothing wrong with doing model calls.
Nope.
I still do model calls when I'm slow because you know why? It gets more images out there. It keeps my social media going. The more you post on social media, the more reels you do, the more videos you do while you're doing these things, the more you're going to build social media. And then in groups trying to get people to follow and mom groups and now because now you're in mom groups, trying to do those model calls, those people are going to start following you now. Then their friends are going to start following you. It's and especially for portfolio building, I think it's so very important for model calls. Model call, model call, model call. It gets your name out there. And then post them on your Facebook, post them on your business Facebook, post them on your Instagram. But what you want people to see. So you understand? So that's the biggest thing. Like,
Love
don't be a newborn photographer, but you're posting, Billy's second birthday session, because then people are going to call you for that.
Mhm.
What a shoot. Right? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to pull our train into the station in about 5 minutes. So I think we're going to grab our last question here. And you guys let us know if you liked this, if this is something you'd like to see continue on a regular basis of more coffees and cameras. Okay, so this is a good one. Musts and contracts, like Denise briefly mentioned. So Denise, do you want to take that?
Sure. Thanks for the question. Oh my gosh. Here, I'm unhinged.
Go.
Go. Okay, so I when it comes to contracts, it's a lot of them are built also. Like you'll have your base contract and then people do stupid things that you have to add in there to prevent
So true.
happening again. So contract, okay, I'm gonna tell you. This is probably my favorite one of all time. So I understand that with new parents, sometimes we're late. But here's the thing. Are you late to your doctor's appointment? And if you are, what happens? They have to reschedule you, right? So you have to treat yourself too, like, okay, yes, we know that we're working with new parents and all this. And I have a thing where, if you're more than 15 minutes late, then it starts to come off of your session time. So I don't cancel it. But because, for example, I will do a session, like I promise 2 to 2.5 hours of coverage. But when you're there and it's kind of, it builds, sometimes I'll do 3, 4, 5, like as long as the parents are down, I'm down. But I'm not going to say that because then they'll go, well, if I'm an hour late, we still have 4 more hours, and they start to make this thing. So I say that our session starts at the time agreed upon and ends at 2.5 hours.
Mhm.
That way you've locked that in so they can't spin that around. You still have the ability to give more. So you're, it's kind of that under promise, over deliver. So I say 2.5, but now I've given you 3.5 if you're on time. They value your time more. So if they show up, oh, we're like an hour away. I'm like, okay, that's fine. and I get to be really nice. That's okay. But you have me till 2:30. And then they go, oh, and they realize it comes off of their time, not yours. And because it used to drive me freaking nuts. Everyone's like, well, I have a new baby. I'm like, well, you should be an hour sooner then. I also had children. And again, I get it. So if someone's late, and depending on how they act about being late, will determine if I will still go over anyway. So you still need to lock that in so that they can't spin that. But if someone comes in, they're like, oh, and they're overwhelmed and they're like apologetic, don't worry, are you even late? No. Like, I'll just get to play that. But some are like, oh, I'm just late. Big deal. I went to Denny's before I left, and they show up with full makeup in Starbucks. I'm like, nay, we're done at the allotted time today. But if they come in all disheveled and all just like almost like ready to have a breakdown, oh no, you have me all day now, and I'm gonna make sure that you're okay. So that way the contract though solidifies this, and then you get to use your own judgment on the situation to give more or stick to your guns. So that's my top thing in a contract, is that I would say. And the parental expectations.
And turnaround time too, I think.
And the turnaround. Oh yes.
Turnaround
and under promise,
time.
over deliver. Say 3
Yeah.
weeks, deliver at 2, you're a hero. But if you say 2 and you deliver at 3, where the heck are our pictures? We're mad.
Yeah.
So yeah, under
That's true.
promise, over deliver.
Yeah.
Like I say, 2.5 hour coverage, but my sessions are never 2.5. I'll go to 3, 4, however long we need to, but they don't know
Whoa.
that. We don't promise that.
Yeah.
It
Now,
just depends on the parent.
your model release and your contract separate, like 2 different documents? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I
Model releases are, very different than,
Awesome. Love it. Okay, my friends, going to pull our train into the station. Thank you all so much for hanging out and answering all these questions today. This was really fun.
It was
I
fun.
think this might be do more often. I kind of enjoyed this.
It was fun when when people could hear me.
So we liked the dance.
Fixed it to listen. I
It was giving
trying,
mime.
I love it.
I like your robot.
Thank you.
Oh, we got all these lovely thank yous. Thank you, everyone, for watching and for showing up.
Yeah.
We're not streaming,
you.
which it feels so great. So thank you.
Yay.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for including me. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you
It
so
was nice meeting you, Jane.
Yes, nice meeting you. And thanks for
Yeah, nice
having.
meeting you too, guys.
Awesome. Have an amazing day, guys.
Bye.
All right, bye
Bye.
guys. I gotta get out of here.